Company was founded so the community would have a convenient location to connect with others while enjoying healthy drinks and nutritious snacks. Our mission is to nourish our customers and our community with our culture and our coffee. Our values include joyful service, healthy nutrition, and community fellowship. Come by and get a drink and a snack Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 7 to 6 p.m. Go Falcons! Welcome everyone. Chris Welch along with Coach Reynolds and my partner Mark Boyette, and we're here for week 10? Week 9. Game 9. Yeah. It's really week 10 of the season. But so welcome back. So last week we go down to shallow water, and Coach, that didn't quite come out the way that we were hoping. No. But it was a battle.
Yeah, I think you always want to win for sure. Yeah. And I think we had the expectation of going down there and winning. Had some good practices. Felt like we had a good plan going into it, and sometimes you go and it doesn't work out. And I think the biggest thing for us, what we learned is, we every single week, especially when you're kind of the team, probably the beat, when you're the ranked team, when you're the team that's undefeated, you got to show up and play and there's got to be you got to play desperate, like you're desperate to win the game. And you got to play physical, because your plan and all that stuff is great on both sides of the ball. The bottom line is you got to go play that way. And I thought Shallow Water did a great job of playing desperate, playing like it really meant something to them. I was proud of our kids I thought we played hard. I just thought we were a step behind all night is what I felt like on the sidelines. I just felt like we were a step behind physically. From the opening drive of the game, I thought they were more physical than us. I mean, especially on our offensive side of the ball, I thought they got after us every way possible. And that's when people say that, they think you're just talking about linemen. That's not. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about across the board. They played harder. They were more physical than us. They just did a lot of things that gives you a better chance to win the game. And we didn't do some of those things, and we didn't play well. We didn't coach well. When you win as a team and you lose as a team, and you have to search for answers, but you're not trying to point the finger and point the blame all the time. And then, so when you do, it's a group deal. It's not just players. It's coaches. It's not just coaches. It's offense, defense, special teams. I think you saw it all come into play last week. We just weren't very good, weren't good enough. But even then, you overcame a lot of things, and with a handful of minutes in the game, you have the ball at the 50-yard line, 1st and 10, after the fake punt from Ty, and you have a chance to win the game. That's on us, and we didn't get it done. And, just a lot of sloppiness throughout the game. But, we're going to move on. We learned hopefully from that. We're looking forward to getting out and playing tonight. I can promise you that. Anytime you lose a game like that where you feel like you could win it, that's the hard thing about football is you don't play Tuesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Saturday. You got a full week, and it's been a long week, but I think the kids responded well. They understood the challenge, understood what we need to fix, and you just want to go out and play again. So we're looking forward to tonight.
What's the message, when you, as a leader, you're looking in the faces of these 16, 17, 18-year-old kids who have just come off of a tough loss, they haven't done that this year. What's the message you give them at that time to kind of, because you got a long season still ahead of you. So what's that message you try to give them at that point?
Well, what we talked about out there, and that's kind of the hard part when emotions are still running high after a game, and you can see the disappointment. It's not that we didn't want to win. Those kids want to win, We've all probably seen it. Probably had it, probably had a game in our life where we played, and then you remember a game back where you're disappointed, where it just didn't go your way. You just didn't have it that night for whatever reason, or you see it on TV every week on Saturdays and Sundays too. And you're scratching your head like, what happened there? And that's just human nature. I think sometimes especially when you're doing good and you're winning, sometimes you have to be humbled a little bit, to be honest with you. And, at the same time, I don't think you sit there and rip your guys because they didn't lose on purpose. We didn't lose as nobody, no coach, no player, nobody wanted to lose that game. We just, it didn't go our way. So you tell them things, and you got to be honest if you're going to fix those things, honest to what you saw. You talk to them Friday night, then you come back after you watch film, you have to be honest about the film, but, you just tell them it's no different. After the game, we talked about it, kind of some things that we thought immediately, our afterthoughts in the game about things that maybe we needed to fix. You're still thankful. We still prayed and we're thankful in good times and bad, no matter what. That doesn't change. So you got to stay the course and not panic and not flip out, and still be thankful for the opportunity to be out there, because there's a lot of folks who would love to have that opportunity, so you can't forget that. And we just after it was all said and done and coming back Monday and everything, we got to play with the passion. You got to play with the passion, have fun, enjoy it still. And you got to play with the passion, but you also have to execute. You can go out there and paint your face and yell and scream and go crazy and, all that stuff. But if you still don't put your hat in the right place when you're blocking that guy, and you don't get, if you're a receiver and you're blocking and you don't get your hips down and buzz your feet, and you have to do those things correctly too. You can't just be a wild man out there. But if you can do it physically and do it correctly, that's when good things are going to happen.
Absolutely. Well, I want to ask this question because
Okay.
I've been asked it
Bring it.
a ton of times, okay? But I just want to ask the question. Sid Carroll, for the last 3 years, he's been our extra point guy, right? So we're sitting there announcing, I was like, well, because it's automatic. Touchdown Falcons, Sid Carroll. Nope. Where is Sid Carroll at? He's not even out there, right? Can you explain what happened on that extra point?
Yeah. It's things that happen that people don't see. Sid had a pretty good sickness, been pretty sick all for a while. And, you could see it the day before that, I walked through on Thursday, all Friday. He was, not feeling good at all. Kicked a couple in the first half, or two, because we had 14 at half, kicked a couple, went in at halftime, wasn't feeling good at all. And, I'll just kind of leave it at that. After that, at that point, you have to make a coach's decision on putting a kid out there or not. Can they go? You don't. Obviously, looking back, it's easy to second guess and wonder, well, what if, bottom line is we made a decision, we went with it. It didn't, that play didn't work out. That's the play that we're all going to remember. I think about it too. But there was enough plays in that game as well. We got the ball back after that.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. We got stops. We got the ball back. We got it to the 50-yard line after the fake punt. First and 10, about the 50, with a chance to go win it. As much as everything played out in the situation you're talking about, and what everybody else talking about officiating and stuff, bottom line is it was in the Falcons' hand. Well, we had a chance to win the game, and we didn't make enough plays before that. After that, we had, a lot of plays that we normally connect on in the past game, just a fraction off. Mm-hmm. If we connect on one of those, it was probably talking about, us winning the game last week, So, when the people say it's inches and angles, it does come down to that stuff, especially in close games. So, we just, bottom line is I don't know how many plays there were. We ran a lot of offensive plays, and there were probably 200 roughly plays in that game, counting special teams, defense, offense, and there's always going to be a few that stick out in your mind.
Yeah.
And for natural reasons. But like I said, they made more plays than we did. They played better, they coached better, and we just got to get better.
Yeah. Well, I just want to know, because I'm like, I don't know. I'll ask you. That's what I told him. All right. So listen, I asked. All right. So anyway, here's the question now. So tonight we go to Dalhart, game 2 of district. Dalhart's been on, they lost their quarterback earlier in the season, but they're still on a great streak. They're playing really well. Yeah. They're playing very well. And so, what are you expecting to see tonight? Because our guys are ready. coming off that loss, a tough loss at that, losing by 1. So what do you expect them to see tonight? How do you expect our team to respond and bounce back from last week?
Well, talking about Dalhart, they're a team that's played really well. I thought even coming into the season that Dalhart was kind of the team that nobody was talking about, that I felt like was going to be pretty good. I think they're extremely talented in their skill positions, quarterbacks, receivers, running backs. Their linemen have been playing real well. They lost quite a few, but I think they're playing, extremely well. But they're just, on offense, they do so many things. They give you different formations. They run jet sweeps, RPOs, pop passes. They use the quarterback. Obviously, Coach Reed's son, Kyler, who's been the 3-year starter for them and done so many great things, had the injury earlier this year. He's been out. I think you can maybe expect him back at any time. I don't know about tonight, maybe. I know he's starting to hit that window where they thought he might have a chance to come back. So we might see him tonight. But they're just, I think they've done a great job. I think defensively, they're so much more active and physical than they have been in years past. I think they're doing a great job. Their kids are playing hard on defense. And that's why they're, 7-1. They're doing a lot of good things, and credit to them for, and their staff for losing somebody like Kyler, and who does so much for them the last 3 years, and just kind of keep on rolling. They're still playing good football. So that's kind of what I expect out of them. For us, I hope we go out and we play with the chip on our shoulder. Mm-hmm. I think when you do that, any team, I think when you go out and you play with something to prove, with a chip on your shoulder, like it means something, I think you give yourself a chance. And I think that's what was missing last week for whatever reason. So that's the main thing. You want to execute. I want us to be physical. I want us, do all those things, but I just want us to play like that game means something.
So last night we had a game here, a couple of games here, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
and then some in Dalhart. How did all those come out last night?
They went well. Freshman had a good win here last night by several touchdowns. I think JV won. I think ended up being by 1. Got a little hairy at the end from what I heard. We had a 21-0 lead and kind of let them come back, but we won by 1 point, I think. I haven't seen the film on that yet, but I was over at Dalhart with the junior highs, and 7th grade lost 22-6, I think. 8th grade won pretty big. So it's a good night. Our combined B, we were able to get a game. Dalhart didn't have any B teams. So Shallow Water was bringing their B teams to River Road, or their junior high to River Road. River Road doesn't have B teams either. So Shallow Water was looking. We were looking. So they just came up here, dropped their A team off at River Road, drove over and brought their B team for our B team kids to get a game. So, it wasn't 2 separate B team games, but it was at least a game combined that we could get those guys in, get them some snaps. Because, like I said, that's one of the hardest things to find nowadays, it seems like, is B team games, and those kids need to play. So, because there's kids every year that come up off those teams, from that play B team in junior high some and end up playing. You look at talking to Slade Perry about it. Slade he was a B teamer in junior high. Now he's a starting running back, one of the fastest kids around. So that's why we have to get those kids reps and find them games. So they got to play Shallow Water. So it was a good night for us.
Good deal. Well, we will be traveling to Dalhart, so back-to-back travel games for the Falcons. That's always fun as well, change the schedule. But the kids are off today, so we've talked a little bit about what that schedule looks like. So they got burritos coming soon. Yep. So anyway, we'll be there. Unfortunately, Mark won't be there. He's got Freedom Conference at the church tonight. So Jordan McCormick's going to be joining me in the booth tonight for his debut. Jordan's going to be helping us during basketball this year.
Well, he made a volleyball debut.
Oh, he did. That's right. So football debut.
Trust me, y'all don't want him calling volleyball. He's like me.
Is it worse than me?
It was terrible.
Well, okay.
And Jordan, I love you, but at least he knows some football. You know what I mean? But yeah, he will be doing our basketball broadcast. But
yeah, so we'll kick off at we'll get the show started around 6:30. Kickoffs at 7. Make the hour drive up there for this ball game. It's going to be a great one, I think. But if you can't, always tune in. Coach, thanks for joining us this morning, and good luck tonight.
Thank you.
All right, thanks everyone. Bushland Coffee Company was founded so the community would have a convenient location to connect with others while enjoying healthy drinks and nutritious snacks. Our mission is to nourish our customers and our community with our culture and our coffee. Our values include joyful service, healthy nutrition, and community fellowship. Come by and get a drink and a snack Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays, 7 to 6 p.m. Go Falcons.